What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the I was going to say True Footy YouTube channel, the Bit of Footy YouTube channel, for a bit of a relaxed round wrap up. We're going to wrap up round 6. We're just going to speak about every game. You know how it is. I've done this like for the past couple of weeks now, so let's just hop straight into it with the first game on Thursday night between the Cats and the Lions. The Cats taking this one out by 27 points over the Lions. Now, the Lions were the first to come out firing in the first and second quarter. They pretty much had the ball under control in a sort of messy game. Charlie Cameron and all the Lions players were working really hard around the ball, and the Cats were just getting defeated everywhere. But in the second half, it was all Geelong. They came out in the third quarter, and third or second quarter, I'm not sure, and kicked 7 goals in a row, or 8 goals in a row, one of the two, and they pretty much just controlled the game from there. And in these shortened quarters, it's pretty much hard to come back when you've got a big margin to come back from at 3/4 time, and that's what the Lions did have to do, and they just couldn't do it. The Cats were too strong, winning this game by 27 points over the Lions. Next, we had the big Friday night clash between the Pies and the Hawks. Pies needing to win this one just to pick up some momentum. They lost twice before coming into this game, and from the get-go it was all Collingwood. Just all the pressure was really all brought from Collingwood in the first quarter. Throughout the game was a bit sloppy. There was a lot of turnovers and stuff. Collingwood's highest scoring quarter was the first. From there they kicked a goal in each quarter, but the Hawks, just nothing was working for them, and even when they got the ball forward and they got a chance at goal, they were just not taking their opportunities. I believe they kicked 3 goals, 9 in the end, so they need to work on some goal kicking. But the Pies were able to win this one by 32 points to go into 5th spot on the ladder. So we had the unbelievable game between the Saints and the Dockers at Metricon Stadium. The Saints were quick out of the blocks at quarter time. It was a 36-point lead to the Saints. It was 40-48 at quarter time. Unbelievable. Then the Dockers started secretly just crawling their way back into the game at halftime. It was 13 points only. I believe it was 40-53. The Saints really struggled to score after that. And then from there it was pretty much all the Dockers. But in the final quarter, the Saints made a bit of a charge back, and the scores got to a level playing field. The scores were level pretty much in the last couple of minutes, and then the Dockers were mature enough with their experienced players to be able to find a target inside their forward 50 and win the game. And it was the Dockers by 6 points over the Saints in an unbelievable win to the Dockers. We headed over to the Gabba next for the big clash between Riley O'Brien and Nick Natanui, and it was a bit of a slot fest. The Crows were a bit feisty in this game. They tried their all. They were a bit fiery in this game, but in the end it came down to the maturity of the Eagles and the experience of the Eagles, the experienced heads of the Eagles, Jeremy McGovern in the back line, Nick Natanui. I mean, in fairness to O'Brien did beat Nick Nat around the ground. This is what a lot of people are missing. O'Brien did beat Nick Nat all over the ground. He got 19 disposals to Nick Nat's only 7. But it was Nick Nat in the middle that really helped the Eagles win the game. There was a lot of just great tap downs, and even one was like a punch down to his midfield players that got them set, and they were able to create a lot of scoring opportunities from the centre because of Nick Nat's hit outs. So the Eagles were able to win this game by 33 points over the Crows. Next, we had a ripper of a game between the D's and the Suns at Giants Stadium. The D's winning this one by 17 points. The Suns bringing in the new player, Isaac Rankin. He was an absolute jet. Kicked 3 on the night, had a chance to kick 4 and maybe tie the scores, or maybe put the Suns in front. I forgot which one it was. But in the end, the D's just wanted to win this one more, and they got the win. And Harley Bennell was able to kick a goal against his old team, against the Suns, the final goal of the game, which is great to see. Yeah, so the D's just really mature when it mattered most, just really wanted the ball when it mattered most, and were able to come out this game 17-point winners over the Suns at Giant Stadium. Dons played the Roos next at Metricon Stadium, and boy oh boy, they did it again, North Melbourne. In fairness to them, North Melbourne came out with a hot start this one. They looked up and about and ready for this game, but from the second quarter and the third quarter was all Essendon. There were glimpses of North Melbourne coming back, but the Dons were just too strong, and now a 3-1 on the ladder, or 4-1 on the ladder, I believe. North Melbourne again, another week of frustration for them. A lot of ball movement just not working their way. Too many handballs, you could say. Kicks inside forward 50 going way too high, and their forwards just not working well enough. There's so many kicks to Ben Brown that just weren't helping him out at all. Ben Brown not helping himself out at all. There was one play on the wing where he's completely alone. Should have marked it, just did not hold on to it. So North Melbourne are really in the trouble right now, and next week they got Richmond, which will probably be a tougher test than Essendon was. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond, but right now they are really struggling, and especially their forward line. There is nothing going on down there. So they need to figure out something. They need to just find a plan friggin' C at this stage, because nothing, their plan A, their plan B is not working for them. We move on to the Sunday games. The first one being the Power versus the Giants at Metricon Stadium. One of the matches of the round. I got to watch it live with the viewers, and it was an absolute ripper of a game. The Power got off to a good start, but then the Giants clawed their way back into the game like they do on most occasions. They got the lead eventually, but it wasn't a big lead. It was only a 3-point lead, and on the verge of three-quarter time, Charlie Dixon took a great pack mark, went back and slotted it through, and gave the Power back the lead. And it's crazy to think how much momentum a team can have to only just fall behind at the last seconds of a quarter. Seems to be like North Melbourne every week. But yeah, they got the lead, and in the fourth quarter they just really charged home. All the momentum was with Port Adelaide. Really wanted to win. Really wanted to prove that last week was just a one-off thing, and just really wanted to prove that they are generally a good team this year, and they did that against the Giants, who are a good team in themselves. And so yeah, they got the job done by 14 points over GWS, which was a big win for them. Next we move on to the second lowest scoring game in this AFL era. It was the Tigers and the Swans. The Tigers taking this one out 34-26. Yes, that is the full-time score. It's not the half-time or three-quarter time score. That is the full-time score. In fairness, it was raining a bunch, and with these hub situations, there's so much that can go into account in this game. The Tigers came out this one by 8 points. The Swans really tried in the last quarter to bring the margin back and to bring the game back into their way, but the Tigers defense really held up well in the wet conditions, just were able to hold on with an 8-point victory. And yeah, the Swans just really pushed hard to try to mount a late comeback, but it just wasn't enough. The Tigers had it from the get-go, and as much as they tried, they just couldn't do anything. It was just such wet conditions for them to try to come back. So the closest they got was 8 points, and that was what the final margin was. So Richmond winning and heading back into the 8th. Final game saw the Blues take on the Dogs at Metricon Stadium, and this was a goal fest of a game. But it was the Blues who took this one out by 52 points over the Dogs in the end, and it was all just the Blues forward pressure and their movement in the mid. The forward pressure was unbelievable. You could see from the first quarter the Blues were just on and the Dogs were just not on at all. There was just passages of plays where the Dogs just looked tired. They couldn't run with the Blues players. The Blues just had much more energy than the Dogs did. And they ended up kicking a total of 103, which is good for the Blues because they don't normally do that. And it's good for the competition because we haven't seen a 100-point total in a while. So it's good to see that 100-point get up and 100-point total, at the end there. Yeah, so the Blues winning by 52 points. Just great forward line pressure. There was great move passages of play from the Blues where they were just really pushing the ball forward, whatever they could do, kicking it off the ground, tapping it down to their players. Just solid pieces of play. And yeah, the Dogs just couldn't compete with it. There was glimpses of the Dogs coming back, but not much in it. And it was the Blues winning this one by 52 points over the Dogs. And that concludes a really fast round wrap-up. How about that? But next week it's going to be a bit of a long one. We've got footy from Thursday to bloody Monday night. So looking forward to covering that. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. And I'll see you guys for more content during the week. Ciao.